Right.
It is.
And that's the best way to be successful is blaming somebody else for your fuck-ups.
Yeah, right.
And then there's me. I'm not going to brag about shit, but I was Yashkov High School 1997 age champion athletics. I went back and defended my title the next year, unlike some others. And because I fucking defend titles, that's what I do. That's what I do.
Yeah, right.
Were you really?
Yeah.
What was your go-to?
800, 400,
Oh.
1500.
The grinders. All
Yeah.
the grinding
All
ones.
the shit ones.
Yeah, the ones that the people with talent don't go in.
Yeah, all the ones where everyone's like, fuck doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at these fucking haters. These crabs in a
The
bucket.
sprinters don't
Yeah,
go in.
the
Yeah.
sprinters
in a
like,
bucket.
fucking who cares if you can run 1500 meters?
Crabs in a bucket.
I'll catch you in 10.
There was only 2 people in it.
Crabs in a bucket. Crabs in a bucket. So, I also won quite a few creative writing competitions. I did. So that's me, but I'm not here to fucking brag and list all my fucking achievements. But that's me. And every time I won one of those competitions, I went back and defended my title. Win, lose or draw. Because that's a mark of a real man. Anyways, moving right along.
What do you mean, win, lose or draw?
Yeah, yeah.
If you lost, you're not defending the title.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It's a concept.
You're clutching at straws here. So that's the end of the introductions for today.
You're grabbing at straws.
There's a couple of other things I'd like to, couple of housekeeping things. If you need a house or granny flat built, please see Kaplan Homes. They've actually built the granny flat that we are in at the moment. Great job, great people. Mention Grange TV and they will look after you.
Great people. They've been looking after me well before I was
Who's your first sponsor?
the very first sponsor.
Going through it, yeah.
Very first sponsor. So it's, yeah, they're a great company.
That's it. The other thing is what I also realised was I would like you guys that are watching, if you can like and subscribe the show. Just like and subscribe to the fucking show, please.
Yeah.
It's funny, I
Something
also forgot about that we need people to subscribe and to like the thing.
Yeah. And also, guys, if you can
I
just
better subscribe.
yeah,
You want to
I
subscribe?
don't know.
you got to subscribe, mate. What are you
Are
doing?
you, have you?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
First one.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. 100%. I did. 100%. I actually have two. If you cough into that thing, you're coughing straight.
I coughed down here.
Yeah, but the microphone is attached to it. So stop coughing. Turn your face and cough that way.
Sorry, guys.
Unbelievable.
Sorry, guys.
So that's the end of introductions for today. Moving right along. Moving right along and just staying on track. So yeah, we are trialing a new thing. We're going to get a new banners up and everything. So we do listen to your feedback, people. We've spoken to David. We had really, really stern words with him. And he's trying to get his act together. So let's see what happens. So now we're going to talk about the card, UFC 238.
Yesterday, yes. Public holiday podcast.
This is a public holiday in Australia for those of you that don't know. It is the Queen's birthday. Eh?
It's not actually her birthday today, is it?
No. It's a
But we have
ceremonial
it,
birthday.
yeah.
It's a ceremonial birthday. It is. It's not an actual birthday.
Yeah, like last month.
Yeah, you know the Queen's birthday.
How old is
necessarily I know
how
her
old
date.
is the Queen?
I've been old.
90 something.
Something. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Fuck. Well, what do you think of? Unfortunately, Tai Tuivasa was going for Tai. Tai Tuivasa dropped that fight. He lost the fight. What do you think of the fight? Ivanov versus Tuivasa.
Great fight to watch. Like, just great slugfest. But yeah, I did see him do a shoey in the crowd afterwards. Win, lose or draw.
He did a shoey.
Yeah, win, lose
Have
or
you ever
draw.
done a shoey?
No. Why did you point straight to me and ask me?
You look like someone that would.
Nah, never. I don't know. We never
Have you
did
ever
it
done a
up
shoey?
No comment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a shoey where
you're a piece of
the
shit.
shoe was new. It wasn't off someone's fucking dirty feet, and then I did it.
Nah,
The shoe
that
was new.
doesn't
What do you
count.
mean
then.
the
You have
shoe
to do
was
it.
new?
It
A
was
brand new shoe.
A brand new shoe, yeah.
Where'd you get a brand new shoe whilst you were having a drink? Let's go. Let's go.
No, how did it
It
work?
was peer pressure. It was just like, oh, do a shoe. It was like, I ain't doing it off your stinky shoe. So someone had a clean shoe, and I did it through that.
Yeah, but where were you that the person carried a shoe around with them? That was,
A new shoe in a box.
Yeah.
yeah. Let's do a shoey. Hold on.
I'm smelling
Was that
bullshit.
someone's house?
How long ago?
I don't know, 2 years ago?
So you're a grown man. Fuck. Have you ever done a shoey?
Never.
What do you think of Ty of the actual fight, of Ty's stance and how he was fighting in there? Because I think he fought more in orthodox this time than he did
changing.
before. Yeah. No, but before he'd always tend to have. I don't know. I didn't see a lot of because Ivanov fought from southpaw position, and Thailand there's some big leg kicks on him. Really, really big leg kicks.
That's one thing I think a lot of people don't give Ty enough credit for is his dexterity and like just his sheer athleticism for the division. Like he moves well and like he moves his lower half of his body very, very well. Like his kicking game is huge. He's got massive legs too, massive legs.
He really, really chewed up the legs when he kicked them. But I don't know. Do you feel that he could have gone to the legs more?
You can always go to the legs more, you know. It's just one of those things. It was a hard fight. They went out there just threw. And
Do you think again he might have just focused too much on putting on a show than trying to win the fight? Do you think you can get caught up in that sometimes? The crowd going on that and you go, I would rather just stand here and slug it out and people are going to talk about the fights that I'm in, rather than be smart and just go like, I can win it from here if I change something up.
that's a funny. That's
Because you know how there's some fighters that are out there in these fights, and it's nearly like they would prefer to put on a show and have everyone go like, that was a slugfest, and go, hold on, what do I need to do now to win? I think GSP was always an expert at doing whatever needed to be done to win, but I don't know, that's how I sort of feel. Do you think?
I don't know. What do you?
You know, we've spoken to him before, and he says he gets into the show. Like that's why he does it. He loves the lights. He loves the stage. He loves all that about it. It's hard to say because he's definitely that type of person though. That's like, I want to swing it out with you and me right here. Let's go. Like he screams it. You go on his Instagram. You go on everything. He'll tell you himself, like that's the sort of guy he is.
Is that enough for the top level though?
Yeah, that's what I was sort of thinking. Do you know what I mean?
Because he's definitely talented and he can definitely fight, and he's got all of those things. And I don't know this. I don't know that like you're not saying that that's what he did.
No, not at all.
I don't know this
I'm just
either. I'm just like, if that is the case, is that enough for the top end?
It's hard. You know, I don't think so. Like I wouldn't think so because those guys at the top end have it all. They can bang, they can wrestle, and like you see from a guy like Cormier, who's like he does what he needs to do.
Yeah, I think he's a perfect example as well of doing that. Do you know what I mean? Whatever he needs to do.
He's very strategic with his approaches to fights. He goes in there, he exploits weaknesses, he implements his strongest game or his strongest aspect, and then takes the win whichever way he needs to, whether that be a submission or a knockout or just pressure to a decision. Like he does what he needs to do. And
I don't know nothing about fighting, but is it strategic to just bang with someone? Like, so, because I see that fight, they were just in the center, bang, bang, bang. Is that a strategy? Is that something that you train for, or is it just the way how he fights?
It's hard because, like, in my personal, in my opinion, because I'm not a heavyweight. I don't fight like that. I can't fight like that. I'm not big enough. I don't have the sort of heavyweight power they do. But there are guys. I'm sure there are guys that like Mark Hunt, who don't need to wrestle because they know that. Well, no, he
can wrestle though.
I don't mean like he doesn't wrestle or doesn't. I mean like he didn't implement a wrestling game. Like his
like
biggest,
he offensively didn't go.
Yeah,
for it.
offensively he knew he just needed to land one clean shot and the fight was his. He'd take the win. you know. And I don't know. What do you think? Because this is definitely waters for more of a coaching aspect, you know.
What's your question though? I don't understand.
I was saying, is a legitimate fighting strategy to stand in the middle of the ring and just like go back and forth with someone with punches? Is that a real strategy, or is it just someone's fighting nature?
I think it'd have more to do with your fighting nature, and I think you can use your fighting nature as part of your strategy. But I don't know. Like, I think Bam Bam's so talented, and I think you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg of his talent in that, in the way that he's. Like, I feel that he could have beat that Ivanov. You know what I mean? Like but you know, like, I don't know. What's the jump? I think Ivanov was ranked number 9 or something. In
13.
13 was he?
13, I think.
And where was Ty at?
11.
No.
What's that jump like, Rob, when you go into the top 10? One of the things, okay, I'll answer this. You asked that. One of the things that we were talking with Alex Simon the other day, and like, there's not going to be a lot of people that can take his shots flush. If he hits you flush, there's not going to be a lot that are going to be able to take it. But he and I were talking, and I said to him, look, as you start to get higher up the ranks, there's going to be people that are going to be able to take your shot, or they're going to be able to not take it because he hits like a truck, like. But they're going to be able to weather storms. They're going to be able to get out of the way of shots. They're going to be able to survive. You're not just going to, each fight's not going to just last 30 seconds. And he's smart enough to understand that. We were having that discussion. But I think, like, as just a type of human being that you fight at the upper echelons, they're not made the same. You know what I mean? They're not made the same as the guys you fought in the regional shows that you can hit them and they would crumble.
And that difference is massive when it comes to, like, specifically the heavyweight division. Heavyweight regionals is nothing like those heavyweights in the UFC card scene, especially when you start hitting like 20, 15, 10. Like you asked just before, you said, what's the jump like between like 10 to 20 or 1 to 10? It's like it's more prevalent in the...
Sorry, I have to ask, what's that beeping?
The alarm?
No.
Is there something here?
Sorry, go on. I'll find out. Go on. It's fucking killing me. Go on.
Yeah, it's even more present in the heavyweight division. Like, whereas like their 1 to 5 is completely different to 5 to 10, which is completely different to 5 to 15. Like, it's very, 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 very different, and you can see that difference like very clearly. I think, and it's that sort of gradient changes though over the divisions, because there's either more, mostly because there's more numbers, but like for instance in my weight division, middleweight, when you went to like the 10 to 20, they're a bunch of killing guys. Like everybody's hungry, but there is still that skill difference. Like it's still there. But once
some people have the skill, but they don't have the athleticism. Some people have the athleticism, but they don't have the skill.
Like if you were to look at their statistics, like their stats, it'd be like wrestling, striking, grappling, striking, or grappling, wrestling. Like there's like the big changes. Whereas once you make that top 10 level, it's all kind of balanced out. Like it's much closer. And then you hit that top 5 level, and everyone's the same.
Everyone's the same, and they have the physical ability to be able to exploit those skills. Because you can have great striking, but you don't have the chin. You don't have. And then, so in answer to your question as well, Dave, like I think it's a great strategy when you are the bigger, stronger, meaner, tougher dude coming through and nobody can take your shots. But when plan A fails, you have to have, the other. And I'm not saying Ty doesn't. I think it's also he's only been in the UFC for like a year. I think, what's his record? It's like 8-2-0. So he's had 10 pro fights.
They were 8 straight, weren't they?
And he's young too.
Yeah, he's like a young guy. So I think this was a really good fight for him to see, because I can't imagine having the type of power that Ty has, where he hits people and they drop. He's dropped everyone except this guy. I don't think he dropped him. This guy dropped him in the first round. And Ty's also got a crazy chin as well.
Great chin.
Like a really, really good chin. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he does. I think with having more experience moving forward, because he's definitely very, very talented. I don't think that you can just bang it out at the top end. I don't think so.
Ty, in my opinion, has everything to be the next heavyweight champion.
Well, you've already caught it, didn't
Yeah,
you? When we had him
I
on.
think
No,
so.
I caught it.
Oh,
No, I'm joking.
But-
Look how upset he got.
I'm leaving.
No, he has everything to be the. He's looking at that beat. He has everything to be the next champion. It's just about how he executes and how he gets there.
that's how I sort of feel when he fights. But do you know what I mean? He gets caught in that game of just banging it out, putting on a show. Why, if he wants to be champion, then maybe he's got to be a little bit more strategical about the way he
But then
fights. Because we talk about how well he moves.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him stick and move a little bit, and do you know what I mean? Them leg kicks and that, and
To be honest, like I don't think I've asked him if he wants to be champion. Maybe he doesn't. No, I've never spoken about it. Maybe he just wants to get in there, have some mad fights, and just live in the show.
No, but there's two things. It's like one's like what he wants to do, which is fair enough, and the other thing is like when you're looking at it from because you can't mix arguments. One thing is like what do you want to do, and the other thing is when you're looking at it from a strategic perspective, from a coaching perspective, from a fight breakdown perspective. Because and I'm not talking about Ty here, but like you can like what you want is one thing, and what you're doing is completely different. Like if I go and run 100 meters and I run it in 13 seconds at the Olympics, and I go, I just had a good time doing it, and they're like, yeah, well, fuck, you came, you ate into the next people's race, So they're two different things, man. So I don't know if he wants to be a champion or not, but he's very, very good. He's really, 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 really good. I just feel like I'd like to see him after he gets a little bit more experience and whatnot. And I think sometimes it even, no matter what you say, I think it takes, and you probably be better one to say about this, it might take you to be in there a few times in fights like that where you're like, fuck, I could have beat this guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And be able to, but I don't know, like not everyone can do it. I think that's one of the things you can do very well is then go back and go, well, these are the things that I did wrong. And this is the things that are not cool, and I have to change these things. And then if you change it.
No, I 100% agree with you, because I was in his position before, back-to-back losses, where they were very, like, one wasn't close, but one of them was close. And
no, but even in the Thompson fight, it wasn't like you went in there, because that was a fight that, like I said to you, that was a fight that when I saw that I was like, yeah, I thought Rob would be a champion after the Thompson fight, because. It was you didn't go in there and like he punched you once and then you're like fuck it and just diving for his ankles. Like it was a fight. You were young and you were coming up and you were against the best striker in that division at the time and you lost and you got caught and that happens. But how hard is that to do? Do you think to be able to objectively go out and break down not just what you're doing in the cage, it's what you're doing outside of the cage, outside of training and everything.
Super hard. Super hard. And then that's one thing.
How would you say that's how big that is how big is that? How influential is that towards being a champion?
It's everything to being a champion. It's everything. Literally. It's the difference between becoming a champion and not. Oh. And what's harder, because self-reflection and that sort of thing, like it's you kind of know. Like when people have that self-reflection, they go like, oh, if I just did this differently, or I need to change this part of my life because it's not allowing me to do that. It's like already, you just haven't admitted it to yourself, and that's just the first part of it, which is very hard.
And it's ongoing.
And it's ongoing forever. Like every year, it seems like I'm doing this thing, and then the biggest thing, especially when it's the first time you've had to really sit back and self-reflect and look at like how things are organized so that you can either become the champion or be successful in whatever you're doing. What's harder is making the changes and sticking with those changes, because you're breaking lifelong habits, you're breaking relationships sometimes, you're changing a lifestyle trait that you've had forever, and that's one of the hardest things, and that in itself is ongoing, because it's not like you can start to become successful and be like, well, I can relax now and go back to the way I was. No, it's one of those things you change forever. And
one of the things, and I mentioned this to you before, and then I actually heard him say it was when Israel was talking about the same kind of changes. For him, that happened more like when he was still coming up in the kickboxing realm. So it wasn't as prevalent as it is like for someone that's like the UFC's on a much bigger stage. But he was able to make all those mistakes and whatnot and fix what he was doing. Or I don't know if he fucking fixed it or not, because I'm not. He's obviously doing something right, because I'm not there when he's training. But he was able to do all of those things and able to put all of that together. But it's ongoing and it's a lot of hard work. And I think that's like across the board, any business or anything you do, it's like you can't just, you can't. You have to do everything right to get to that. And you might do everything right and still not win.
Yeah, that's the heartbreaking part.
No, but that's the thing that I think a lot of people go, I'll just not do that, and I'll say that I don't care, and I'll act like this and I'll act like that. So then I can always say, you know what? If I lost, I didn't really care. If I or in business, I didn't really care, or I don't care if I do that.
I don't think it was for me.
Yeah, that wasn't. It's not for me. I didn't want that job anyways. You know what I mean? But the reality is, you can say no. You wanted that job and you did everything right and you tried your hardest and you didn't get it. That's hard.
Yeah.
But if you keep doing the right things, you're eventually going to get somewhere good.
I think a lot of people do that as well. That first half, and then they get to the end game, and then they get the result they weren't after. They get sorry, you didn't meet the criteria, or you lose the fight where you've done everything right, and that's when a lot of people be like, well, screw this, I'm out, like I'm done. It's those guys that that after that get back on the horse and just start working again and doing the same things that end up becoming that next team.
But very few people even do it right the first time. Very few people actually because it's hard. It's something that you have to learn to do, and you have to go. It's hard to go. No, even like when you see people like they ask a girl out, and then the girl says no, and and then sorry.
I've never had that problem.
I was watching this happen last week with Eli, but and then Eli turns around and goes like, "Fuck it, I don't like her anyways. I'm married." But the reality is, he did like that girl, and he likes her very much, and he is married, but he did want to be with that other girl, and it just, and he can't admit that. He can't just go, you know what, it fucking didn't work out. So that was my take on the Thai Tuivasa fight.
Cheers.
That was my breakdown on Thai's fight. No, but we're very much Thai supporters, Thai fan here.
Yes, 100%.
Thai Nation here.
Yes, so it's
Thai Nation. Thai Nation.
I think it's hard to give like a proper objective breakdown, because it's always going to be marred in just massive subjectivity. I think we'll probably be a lot better with all the other fights. At the end of the day, I'm always going to be like, and that's why I think Thai should have won.
No matter what.
So
even in the Dos Santos fight.
I'd like to see him fight Dos Santos. What do you guys think of the? I'm going to say his name wrong, but let's call him Peter Yan versus Jimmy
Peter
versus Jimmy Rivera.
I thought that was a great fight. We were talking about it as it was going on. I got a question. Because round one especially, I thought it was very prevalent. Round one especially, I thought Jimmy was winning the round. Like he was winning the whole round, I thought. And then he got dropped like in the last 15 seconds. If he gets dropped in the last 15 seconds, is that round is that round Peters?
Well, in boxing, don't you use it like a 10-8 round straight away if you get dropped?
Yeah, if they put a count on you.
Yeah, it's a 10-8 round straight away in boxing. And I don't know how they take it, but the other thing is how Jimmy got dropped was bad. He didn't get dropped a little bit.
Yeah.
He and it was close. But then but the second and third, I felt that Peter. There were things that Jimmy was doing though, where again he was attacking the legs, was chopping those legs down, and I thought
Jimmy was fighting phenomenally.
I thought he was going to win it. At that stage.
Like yeah, I thought he won round 1.
You don't think that stills around?
I don't know. That's why I asked. I don't know.
What do you think?
Oh, it's tough, like you said, when you get dropped good, like.
And if you get dropped at
it depends how much you control that round too.
Yeah.
If you just up against the cage and you just
Because that's what I was going to say. When you fought Romero and he dropped you, you kind of fell. And no, but even in the third round, like he hit you and you didn't drop. Like you didn't actually drop. They wouldn't have given you the count in boxing. You know, if you remember, like you wobbled, you were like that, and then he came in like boom, 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 and you defended it, and then you came back in the third round, and you got him with a big head kick that to this day I don't know how he took it.
To this day.
To this day, man, I'm still looking for it, and that one. That's not a 10-8 to me. Do you get what I mean? Now, even if he hadn't dropped you, but if that round had finished then, with him on the cage beating you up, it looks like fuck he's going to finish that fight.
I understand the impact.
To me,
finishing like that.
Yeah,
but I guess that's where like a problem of having like the 5 minute rounds. And then, like, can be seen as kind of
that's a big difference too.
It's kind of like a problem when it comes to combat sports as well, because like you can say like Peter at that point. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name, Peter. I'm just
Peter.
Pete.
He's got like the best Russian accent. He's killing my name. And Rose said Peter. His name's Peter.
Sorry, mate.
I have to tell him.
No, but like he dropped him convincingly. Like he dropped him at the end of the round, and if that round was like the pride round was like 10-minute rounds, it would have been done, sealed deal there. But because it was like right at the end, couldn't capitalise on it, couldn't take it home, like just then and there, does it count as much? I don't know. Like, I don't know. At no point, like, I don't think, like, Jimmy won the fight decisively. But
he wasn't, he got dropped, he got bombed a few other times in that fight.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Then he got taken down at the end as well.
Yeah, I thought I thought it was a very close fight. I thought it was a closer fight than the judges scored it, to be honest.
When you said it to me, you sent me the message, because we didn't watch it together, people, much to my dismay. Yeah, I was like, nah, I think Jan won it easy.
I didn't think he won it easy.
Nah, I thought it was in a fight. I was actually torn between them two because I'm a fan of both of them, but I knew Jan's hands are fucking good, man. Like, he's master of sport in boxing out of Russia. They don't just give those things away, you know?
Yeah. It was a great fight. They getting dropped twice, like in the first and in the second, like the way he did, like he like buckled backwards on his own legs. Like that's a big drop.
Does Jimmy always fight at bantamweight? Does he usually lightweight?
Well, he lost to Moraes.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. The other thing, Jimmy was massive. Yeah. Right. The other thing that Jimmy was massive. Moraes was massive. But the thing that impressed me with Peter was Jimmy would kick the shit out of his legs, and then he switched to southpaw, and his boxing was like just as good. You know, and he was hitting that left hand on Jimmy pretty good, man. Like pretty flush. How bad do leg kicks affect you as a fellow non-checker?
Excuse me? I've checked my share of kicks. How many kicks have you checked?
About the same amount as you. About the same amount as you.
It depends. It depends. Like, it depends, like the type of kick where you get kicked. Like, it's very situational. Like, if you get kicked in the calf clean, it hurts a lot. Like a lot. It can break your thing. What's that? Tibia. Tibia. Yeah, it can break your leg, like literally. It's very, very hard. It's very hard. But in a fight, like leg kicks, I've never been leg kicked to the point where I can't walk. You know, like not like in those Thai boxing fights you see, or those fights you see where dudes are like carving into the leg.
Do you remember Aldo versus Uriah Faber?
Yes.
And he kicked the shit. It was on crutches.
he couldn't walk.
Yeah, I think I saw
Maurice
him.
Smith
Swells.
and Maurice Smith and Randy Couture back in the day, and Randy Couture is like a divot in his leg from it. Yeah,
Permanent.
Yeah. I've never been in that, thank God, touch wood.
Oh, there's been a few, hasn't there?
Yeah.
In the UFC, I was trying to. There's a couple others. They're real bad ones.
really, really bad ones.
Yeah.
I think it was one. Stipe Miocic got kicked in the leg in one of his title fights recent. Who was it against? And then he chased him down and knocked him out. Was it Wardun? The calf kicked him and the leg blew up. I think I watched that with you. The leg blew up, bang, and Miocic was like,
yeah, couldn't walk on it.
Yeah, couldn't walk, and then Miocic chased him down and knocked him out.
Have calf kicks, are they more recent, like, coming in than what they... Because I don't remember anyone, do you know what I mean, 6-7 years ago.
You know who used to do them? Henderson, Benson Henderson.
Yeah, yes, I do.
He was doing them a lot. But I don't think that they're necessarily new. I think, like, there's stuff that's probably been, like... I think the Kyokushin guys do that a lot.
They're frowned upon in sparring, aren't they? Hey? Calf kicks. Are they frowned upon in sparring? Sort of like foot stomps?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. No, it's... We don't belt them. Like, you got to throw them though.
Yeah.
Because you got to, otherwise you don't learn how to check them.
Yeah, but when you have the shin pads,
a big difference.
There's a massive difference between.
Dude, I calf kicked Yoel that last fight so hard, and my foot hurt so much. Dude's calves are made out of steel.
He's certainly a strong fellow.
Big calves, man. But sorry, sorry about that.
Did you? Okay, but here's the thing. Did you think when you were watching the fight though, when Peter Yan was when he dropped him a few times, did you think he's going to finish it?
Yeah.
Did you have that feeling?
Yeah.
What did you think of his stand-up, of Peter Yan's stand-up?
No, thinking back, like, at no point did I think Jimmy was winning. I thought he was fighting so well, but I don't, like, thinking back, I don't think I ever felt like he was ever winning the fight, you know. But his head movement and his boxing was so on point.
For a good grappler.
It was.
How good is Jan's grappling?
Yeah. Like the counter wrestling.
Yeah, what do you think of his grappling?
Yeah, so he's from Russia. They all can grapple there, can't they?
Wow, okay, racist. Racist Monday.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, like, you know, the thing that, like, really stood out for me that fight was just Jimmy's head movement, his boxing. Like,
yeah,
for a guy who's such a good grappler, like, to be moving that well, because Jan was throwing and Jimmy was avoiding most of the shots.
But do you think then that's also a testament to the fact that Peter's grappling so good that a grappler of that level had to stand and bank?
Definitely.
Definitely. What's his background, Peter Yan?
Boxer. Yeah,
but he's also a good grappler.
Man, he was like, Jimmy couldn't take him down, and then he took Jimmy down at the end.
Yeah.
You know, like his hands are good. Really, really, really good. I love watching him fight, actually. He's one of my favourite people to watch fight. Here's an interesting thing. Just before the fight, Anik was talking about how Peter Yan, I think, has spent like the last 6 months away from his wife and son, you know, and in preparation for the fight. You've spent time away from home and that before in the past. At what point, and everyone's different, but at what point do you think that's detrimental? Because when they said it, and I was thinking, like, I fucking hate being away from home. I don't like being away from home. And just hearing that, like, what's that like? What do you think?
If I spent 6 months away from, like, my wife and kids, you'd come find me and be like, Rob, you ready for the fight? And I'd have, like, a job at Video Easy somewhere. I would have just lost the plot.
But what's it like?
I can't do it. I get homesick very much. Being away from my wife and kids, I can't do it. I wouldn't do it. I'd find a new profession. But then there are obviously guys that get away and need to get away to switch on, to be away from all that. And I think that's very personal. Like, it's if it's good for you, you do it. If it's not, don't. Like, you need to be comfortable. It's a comfort thing overall. You know, yeah, it's a comfort thing. Like, I can't be away from my family for that long. Like, I just can't.
A lot of boxers do it, eh?
Yeah.
They always separate from their family all the time. You know what? They just want them to focus on their boxing, and they don't see their family or anything. They just in camp every day.
What's your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I think you would have to be mad because that's what makes you. Do you know what I mean? Your family.
Yeah, that's for me anyway.
But again, that's like you said, it's the individuals. There's some people who probably go, they don't want that distraction of playing 3 hours of Paw Patrol every morning.
But like, yeah, for me personally, like, I go out, I do a big hard day session. Some days are harder than others, and you're getting your ass handed to you the whole day from start to finish. And I get home and seeing my boys and seeing my wife, and especially my kids, like to
even your daughter, you probably like her too.
No, she's all right. But like just seeing them not give a shit about my day, like it makes me just think like, who cares? Like I don't know. It just energizes me. It's just like the only thing he cares about if I came home with toys or not. Like, Like that's it. Like, you got any bags on you? Looks around, no? And then it goes back to watching whatever he's watching. And I think, you know what? I'm going to do this again tomorrow for you, you little shit.
It'd be hard to come home them days too if you you don't have your wife and your kids there and you don't have that pity of like, how'd you train today? Oh, I was terrible. Yeah. Imagine going home by yourself. There's no one there to talk to or something like that. You're just sitting there feeling sorry for yourself.
Just angry.
You're ringing your wife looking for pity. She's busy.
Looking for a fight.
Yeah.
How much do you think though, and I don't know Peter Yan at all, how much do you think that is due to the fact that a lot of people don't train throughout the year? And so then there's that need to switch on per se.
I think huge. It's huge. I think most fighters. You know, there's a thing like I think most fighters just wait until they have a fight locked in, and then they go into camp, and then they need to get away so that they can dedicate all the time on training because they haven't been training as hard as they should have during the off season.
I just find it crazy. Yeah, I just when he said that, I was just thinking, fuck, that'd be so difficult to be away from your family. And I don't know at what point I would find it detrimental. I don't know. Would you take a job and be 6 months away from your family?
No. No.
Like if you got offered a high paying position somewhere?
How much?
High paying position, because it depends. Whatever high paying is for any person.
If you're earning that much, you'll probably take your family with you.
Yeah, that's the
Yep.
So yeah, because I can't, like, I don't know, I'd find it very, very difficult to be away from my family for that long, irrespective of the profession. 6 months is a long fucking time, dude.
That's so long. That's half a year.
Yeah, like I remember we were gone for about 2 months, and it was my niece, and I came back, and she was like completely different. Like she was
driving and shit.
Yeah, she was driving. she was driving. Tony Ferguson and Donald Cerrone. What do you guys think of that fight?
That was a great fight to watch. Ferguson blows my mind. I watch him fight, and I'm confused. I don't understand it. Like, Cerrone had that first round so clean. He was putting him on show that first round, and I thought, wow, because I thought Ferguson would take it, because the fights I've seen of Ferguson, he just creeps up on you, and then all of a sudden you're getting your ass handed to you. Like you're copping a hiding at some point.
But have you seen Cowboys fight with Nate Diaz?
No, I have not.
It was like that. It was like Nate in a way similar, like tall, rangy, good chin, you know, throws a jab out and just walks you down. And walks you down and walks you down. And with Ferguson, Cerrone's wrestling is not as good as Ferguson. So he could kind of break that pace with Nate, where he could try and take him down or kick him or whatever. Leg kicks were a thing, but with Ferguson, he couldn't really do that. Yeah. And Ferguson just kept coming and coming. But you have to have a chin made of titanium for that.
A chin, you need to have like striking like Ferguson or Nate to be able to do that. And you need to have some sort of pulp in your hands. Like, dude, Cerrone like put it on him that first round.
First round he did so well, eh?
The first round I thought, wow, Cerrone might be able to do this. I thought, wow, good on him. And then that second round came in, and Tony, I don't know what happened. Like, Tony just started landing shots, started avoiding other shots, and then it just changed. It went downhill for Cerrone so fast.
What do you think? What's it like when you fought Court McGee? He kept coming forward. What's that like when you fight someone like that?
It's tiring. It's tiring. That's all I can remember. Like primarily, like it's so tiring. Like, yeah, deathly tiring.
Yeah, but the breakdown of when you fight someone like that.
What do you mean?
Like if you're fighting someone, like why can't your shots hurt him? Why couldn't you hurt McGee? Why couldn't Cerrone hurt Ferguson when Ferguson was coming forward?
It's hard to say. I do know from my own thing though, like once you start going downhill because you start to get tired because they're still walking forward, it gets significantly harder to hurt them. And like you'll throw everything you can at him, but there's nothing in your arms. There's nothing. You can't generate any force. You can't generate any pop. It's just.
But is that something that his fight style is doing to you?
Yeah, the amount of pressure he's putting on you is just sapping you of life, of your energy. It's just sapping you, and you go downhill fast. Yeah,
Okay.
it's super tiring, super tiring. But then like, not everyone can do that. Like, and you see the fights where the pressure guy tries to pressure and then just gets a hiding. Like he can't, like literally physically cannot take the punishment anymore. Like you see with Gaethje, he's like that sort of fighter. Same thing. And yeah, he's just, and you've even seen it with like Nate and stuff, like where they just take too much punishment and they yeah, it's just like there's only so much the body can take. The thing with Ferguson though is like, because he's had like 12 straight wins, no one knows where his threshold is. Like, or even if he has one, because I'm pretty sure he's fucking crazy. He doesn't have one. Like,
he's a different person.
Yeah, he's like on another planet. Like when he's in there and moving and yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, I don't get it at all. It's so good though. Like, it's hard to try and picture how to beat him. You know what I mean? Because he's so dangerous on the ground too. He's got great wrestling too.
Why do you think it took Ferguson a full round to sort of come back and smash him in the second round? Like, is that normally something? It takes a solid sort of round to really feel someone's style?
Yeah. There's a big thing, like where you use the first round to feel out. But I think Ferguson was just like...
It's like a war of attrition.
Yeah, he was like, all right, Cerrone's given me everything he has in his first round. Let's do it again in the second. And Cerrone couldn't come to the party.
What do you think about that shot after the bell? And because Cerrone was like, it's all good.
That was the other thing with the Thai fight. The guy held the submission after the bell as well.
Oh yeah, he did too.
Yeah, and they said that could have had some impact. Because Thai tapped after it by what I had on the footage. The same sort of thing. This was the other from that card to two sort of late shots after bell. Where this one...
But a submission to me, unless it's an armbar and you break it or something, you get by. Like Ferguson's shot, because Cerrone was like, it's all good, whatever. But one of Cerrone's cornermen, Joe Schilling, was saying, who's a great kickboxer for those people who don't know, very, very solid kickboxer. Like he was saying, no, I'm paraphrasing here, but he's saying, like, well, fuck, no, like not necessarily it's Ferguson's fault, but they said no, it didn't hit the eye, like the late punch didn't hit the eye, but it hit his nose, and when you have the broken nose, that's what the temptation is, to blow your nose, and that's what blew up the eye socket. And I think his orbital got broken as well. So I don't know that you can just go, like it didn't affect it, because like if Ferguson punches you fair in the nose, like that's fucking going to affect, I think,
Such a clean strike too. And like Cerrone was like hands down, like relaxed at that point. Like, okay, round's over, and then pop. I don't know, like and nothing came of it either. Like
what could come of it? But
no contest maybe.
No contest, or like big. But I mean, like in the sense that there wasn't even a deduction. I didn't see a deduction. Like. No. That's crazy in my books. Like not even a deduction, like a stern warning.
Yeah.
It's like let's try that one out next fight.
Potentially just straight up have broken the dude's nose.
But what if he could have got dropped, could have got cut, could have broke his nose.
Getting dropped is one thing, but like let's say you get dropped, you get wobbled, but you get your nose broken, you still got a whole round of fighting to do. That's big, man. Like
hard to breathe.
And you want to blow your nose.
Yeah.
You want to blow your nose, you want to clear all that shit,
Yeah.
and you can't because it creates that pressure in your sinuses and that, and it just blows up. And fuck, I don't know.
It's funny. Yeah, when I saw like the zoom in on Cerrone, and I saw his eye, the size of it, and I saw him blow his nose, and he blew it. And I was looking at him, and it didn't click because I didn't remember that you're not supposed to blow your nose when you have a swollen up eye. I do know you're not supposed to,
and break your nose as
but
well.
I didn't remember at the time. But when he was doing it, I thought, pretty sure you're not supposed to do that. Like it just like
When you went,
yeah, and I was like, pretty sure you're not supposed to do that. But then he did it, and I was like, well, what do I know? And then he stood up, and he's always like this. And I was like, that's why.
it's involuntary though, almost. You know who did that as well? Eddie Alvarez, I think, did it, but he didn't do it to that extent because I don't think his orbital was broken. I think his nose was just broken, and when he blew his nose, his eyes just went.
Yeah, they went real bad.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
What fight was that in? Gagey fight? Or Poirier?
I do remember it. I do remember it because
Bad,
I even
eh?
remember the photos afterwards and stuff like that. They pulled the piss out of him for like weeks, probably until now.
And
Now
there'd be
Cerrone
so
said
much
it.
scar tissue and shit anyways already in those guys' faces. I
So with that, Robert, you're saying what is a penalty for that? Because then it's a TKO. There's no benefit for the person who just got
I don't know.
TKO'd.
I don't know. It's a hard thing to do because a lot of that falls to the referee, and like that's a position I never want to be in. You know, like to have to make a call of that magnitude. It's hard. It's hard.
Where's a no contest taken? But where would Tony be now after a no contest or Donald Cerrone? Do you know what I mean?
As in the rankings?
Yeah,
Well,
and
rankings
making
don't-
new matches. And
But the rankings don't really fucking matter. So, like, I would pay to watch Cerrone and Ferguson again.
Yeah.
Like, that was a good fight, you know, and I think, like... And this isn't to say that Tony Ferguson didn't deserve the win. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he didn't deserve the win because, quite frankly, I think he was on his way to winning that. But, and it's... You know, I don't even know. Like, you might not have even heard the bell. You know what I mean? With the adrenaline, everything's going. But I I definitely don't think that Cerrone deserved the loss like that.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. What's it like? Can you hear the bell?
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
You always can.
Yeah, or I can anyway. Like you hear the thing in the corner where it means like 10 seconds left, and then it's a pretty loud boop. It's pretty loud, very loud, and it's super loud. I've always heard it. Plus, like in training, you train for it. Like there's always
Maybe
rounds.
he doesn't. Maybe he's fucking Izzy the other day. Izzy from Imagine.
There wasn't a bell or there was no time. You just said break.
I said break, and everyone broke, and then he fucking hit Jacob like 3 more times, just for fun. It's not like he can't hit too.
Yeah.
Fuck, but there's always some piece of shit at every gym. All right. So what do you think happens with Ferguson next?
Are they talking about a rematch?
Are they?
I thought they were.
I thought he would just have the next shot.
I thought Tony had the next shot. If
Yeah,
he
I-
won, he's got the next shot.
I thought he's on a 12 fight win streak. Like I thought he would have been there already. Like,
He had the
Yeah,
belt.
that injury.
He had the belt.
He had the interim belt as well for a while. Like
He's still getting around with it, isn't he?
Well, in fairness to him, man, he never actually lost it.
Yeah.
He never actually lost it. I'd be really interested to see
He
him.
hadn't defended it either. But
No. Yeah, but some other people haven't defended it, and they're allowed to keep their belts.
okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
I want to see him and Khabib, man.
Yeah, I think so.
Who do you think wins that fight?
Well, Tony's been held down by people before. You know, even like Kevin Lee was able to hold him down. Castillo was able to hold him down. Granted, he won both fights. You know, but still, they were able to hold him down. And Khabib's pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Pretty.
You know? Yeah, but Castillo's fight, if I remember correctly, was a 3-round fight, not a 5-round fight. Could Castillo have done that for 5 rounds? I don't know. Could could he do it to this Tony Ferguson, who's very confident with his stand-up? I don't know. Kevin Lee ended in a submission. I don't know that Kevin Lee would be able to, because those big, strong guys, and we'll get to that when we speak about Moraes as well, they cut that crazy amount of weight to get down to that weight, to 155 or 20 weight. That also comes with a point of diminishing returns with how the weight cut affects your performance. So I don't know. I'd be really interested to see Khabib hold him down for 5 rounds. I don't know.
If anyone can, though, it's him.
Well, who do you think would win?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, I think Khabib. Like he can do it for 5 rounds. He can.
Yeah.
And like as you've said, like Tony can get taken down, can get held down, and someone like if that is a possibility, then Khabib's gonna do it.
But Tony is a guy that'll fight off his back.
Yeah.
For 5 rounds, and he'll keep going.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be an easy fight. I think like, yeah.
I don't know who will win.
I hope that fight happens.
Who do you think, Ella?
Be a good fight, but I think like Khabib would just, I don't know. He gets in a position where there's not really, do you know what I mean? You can't fight off your back in the position he gets hit when he holds you down against that cage and that.
No,
do you
I
know what I mean?
agree.
So your
And
backup
even if you
and
do
he
fight off your back, it's not very great. Like it's not.
No,
it's
but
not
he landed some big elbows on Kevin Lee, like massive elbows.
elbows, and he flicks his legs everywhere. He
Yeah.
gets them up. I think Khabib, if he could get him down every round for 5 rounds, if they stayed on the feet, but I think Tony would pepper him.
But Khabib can whack.
Yeah, I know he can whack, but
and he's great at
Tony
getting
loves
away
it.
from punches.
He loves it, but he would just...
He loves that fight.
He's
He
great
would
at
just
getting
be
away from
in
punches.
there, he'd be heads moving.
There's another thing, like Khabib gets you down and then gets to work.
Yeah.
Like he gets you down and then bashes you. He beats you up and he's always attacking, trying to bash you on top. Like whereas a lot of other wrestlers try so hard to get you down, and when they get you down, they rest. They don't try to.
He starts.
They don't get a better position.
Yeah, they don't try to bash you. They're just trying to regain the energy they've lost.
I guess a lot of people don't understand that as well. Like the hardest thing is that takedown, and if you get the takedown and the guy pops up, you're fucked.
You're at a negative.
Some technical malfunction, guys. Take this opportunity to just fucking hammer Dave.
Yeah, please in the comment section below.
Please do so. Fucking David.
Do you have it turned on in the war, David? I don't know. I've run a few of these. I'm just asking.
Ooh. Eli wants his job back.
Feel like sabotage.
Yeah.
I was wondering why he was over there for so long.
Look, because Khabib's a massive dude coming down into that weight as well. What do you? How does a weight cut affect you?
I've mentioned a bunch of times, weight cuts huge. Like if you have a super hard cut, it takes away the fluid in your brain. It drains you of your energy. You don't replenish as much. It's the weight cut in particular is very much like it's.
And the gas tank. Can you explain to us about how it feels when
you get gassed?
No, when you get gassed, but when you get gassed after a bad weight cut.
Yeah, if you have a bad weight cut, you just your muscles get like.
Yeah,
For the people that don't realize, like getting gassed isn't just running out of breath. That's not like you can go for a slight jog and you can get out of breath. You're not gassed. Gassed is when your will to live leaves you. like you're being held down and the dude's dropping bombs on you, and you don't have the energy to lift a hand or to move your head.
Which is what happened to Moraes.
Yeah, like you don't have the energy to live anymore. Like it's as funny as that sounds, like it's true, because you saw like in the fight we're going to talk about at the end, like he took how many knees? 12 knees to the head, and all he had to do was just break the clinch, and everyone on the couch at home has been like, why doesn't he just break the clinch? Like, I don't understand why he's just letting him do that, like because like he's gassed, like he'd rather take a knee to the between his eyes than breathe, than move a centimetre out, because he can't.
A lot of the times with that, it's like there's the water and all of that, how the water affects you, but then there's also the depletion of glycogen in your muscles and even the glycogen going to your brain. Like it's, you have nothing. You have no energy. It's not even gassed with like you said with your breathing. It's like your limbs don't work. You know, if it's a bad.
You can be gassed and not be panting hard.
Yeah,
like you can be just normal, but just not being able to lift your arms or take steps or like everything. You're doing everything in your power just to stay standing.
When did you feel that the most? That the weight cut was too much? Which fight?
Mine wasn't. My weight cut, like the reason for my change in weight divisions was mainly because the cut experience in that last welterweight fight was death for me. Like I didn't feel it too much in the next fight, like luckily enough, but like in that definitely felt it in that in the McGee fight, but at the time I wasn't smart enough to put it all together. Like I couldn't work it all out.
What do you mean by that?
Like I couldn't add the fact that because I wasn't training properly either, so I didn't add the fact that like, I gassed because the cut was very hard and the depletion of the glycogen in my muscles was like I wasn't at that stage yet. I just thought, you know what, I probably deserved to lose. Like I didn't train hard enough.
When you say not training properly, what did that look like?
I just wasn't. I was missing a lot of sessions. I just didn't have any consistency in my sessions. And I was still very lost. I was spending a lot of time away from my wife, like all that sort of stuff. It's just adding up, you know. And I was a bit of a mental mess by the time we got to the fights.
Yeah,
that's a question you're asking in regards to strategy. When you're asking, is that a strategy? Blah blah blah. And I think that's a prime example when you get into the upper echelons of fighting. You need like the weight cut, your food, your training, everything, and then you have to have a strategy going in. Like. It's not really enough for you to just go in there and just bang it out.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Not at the top end because you're going to have guys like a McGee or someone that you need to stop him coming forward. Yeah. And he's walking in with going, well, I'm going to fucking walk through your shots. And if you're not trying to take him down or giving him different looks or chopping his legs down or just giving him different things to think about, he's like comfortable in going, I'm coming forward, mate. Yeah. And he fucking, like, it doesn't matter. I think it was a split decision loss. I thought he actually might have won that fight, to be honest with you. But that doesn't, he deserved it as well, you know. He deserved the win. But it was a close fight. But he was, like, all busted up. McGee's face was all busted up in that fight. And he just, tough as hell, just walked through it, you know. And he did a really, really good job. The other thing is, I think Rob touched on it, is, like, you're missing... When you're missing sessions like that, like a lot of the times, like what people don't understand, like learning sequential. So you need to learn, you need to learn 1 + 1 before you can learn your times tables before, blah, 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 blah. And if you're going to go, okay, I'm not going to train, and then 12 weeks out, I'm going to train, I'm going to fight a wrestler, and I'm going to bring in a wrestler into my camp, and I'm going to really train to get my wrestling up. Well, all this other time, you could have been training wrestling, going in wrestling comps, going in jiu-jitsu comps, working on your striking, working on your fitness. So then they go, okay, in 12 weeks you're fighting a wrestler, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Now
I've been fighting one every day.
Yeah, and I can bring in more wrestlers. I can do whatever I want to do, but I know my cardio is going to be there on A, B, C, and D. Instead of adding all that bullshit onto a bad weight cut, that's hard. It's very, very hard. Anything else on that fight? Valentina Shevchenko and Jessica Eye. What did you guys think?
I thought Jessica died.
In what sense?
Like that head kick. That head kick put her in the next week. Like that was so flush, brutal. Like it was so clean. It was a massive head kick, like ridiculous, as good as it gets. And like Valentina just set her up for it. Like smashed her with the body kicks in the first, which like led to her just getting her down, just keeping her there, beating her up. Then started the second with another one. You knew she was going up high.
Yeah, they would have been. Jessica Hyatt's camp would have knew that at some stage
it's coming up high.
Coming, yeah.
No, it was like Krokop with that
left kick. That everyone knew it was coming, but
it was.
But Krokop used to do that, like throw it bang in the body hard and then go high.
You know what's crazy? Krokop used to throw him from like this distance. That's what blew me away. Like he was so close in the pocket when he threw those kicks.
Is he still fighting in some organisations?
I think he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that like Valentina's a weapon. She's a weapon. She's a weapon. That kick was so brutal. Like, yeah, Jessica's like I can't. Like, she was gone. Looks like someone shot her from the crowd. Like, it was bad.
She got sniped,
Yeah, it happens though. It happens. It's like.
What do you think of the breakdown in the first round?
What do you in what sense?
About the fight in the first round.
There's honestly the MVP of the whole fight was the body kicks. The body kicks set up everything. Did all the work for her. Like, yeah, it did all the work for her. When she landed that first hard body kick, and it was a southpaw to ortho, wasn't it? So it was like that clean side. I've been kicked by a southpaw, like on my orthodox side.
Hits a liver.
Yeah, you die a little bit. like it hits you and you just stop breathing. Like your system starts shutting down, and it's so hard. It's so hard. So to take that and then take another one and then like it's just that was like you've been body shot once heavy. Like when it happens, this switches off. Like organs start failing. Like it's huge. It's hard to. It's like being gassed, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but getting hit in the body is like, because you've been hit in the body, and it's like, the thing is when you get winded, it doesn't just come back. Because that's the other thing, you get hit in the head is like, sometimes you can shake it off and you're all right in the third round, but you can have 8 body shots in the first round, the second round, that didn't seem that bad, and you seemed all good. Then you see the dude gas in the 4th round, and he's like, no, I'm done.
It's the investment. Going
Yeah,
to the
it's
body.
bad,
That's
eh?
what boxers always say. Invest, go to the body. Do you know what I mean? Because later off will pay off.
And it does.
Yeah, big time.
Because you haven't got it in it.
And like you said, the first round they don't notice it, but you can see. Do you know what I mean? Them body shots, they're going to catch up with them, then they start to fade, and 3rd and 4th round, and that you go, yeah, that's their investment he put in earlier. Going to the body.
And it's even if you don't like the reason that the liver it hurts so much because the liver is like a solid organ, so it bruises. But even if you don't hit the liver and you hit like the intercostal muscles or whatever, it just makes it hard to breathe.
Going in under the ribs and that.
Yeah,
too,
it makes it hard to breathe. Your ribs are expanding and your muscles are all sore. It's like you've got dead leg. You get a dead leg, but you get it in your ribs and that. Yeah, man. But she caught a. She wasn't none of that. It was like a baseball bat straight to the liver.
Yeah,
that was. Yeah. And then when she got her on the ground, the other thing is psychologically would mess you up as well because Jessica knew that she had to come in and out-grapple her, and then you're on the ground getting out-grappled by this person that just lit you up on the feet.
Yeah.
Because when I was watching that took like the jam out of my donut for her, like, because I can't imagine, that's like hard, you're going out there going, I need to out-grapple this person because realistically she couldn't stand it with Shevchenko. And then Shevchenko's all over you grappling too. Yeah. Granted, because he body kicked you, but that would take the fight out of anyone, I think. What did you think of that fight, Dave?
I'm more interested, have you ever been knocked out like that? I've never been knocked out, so I don't know. Because the thing that surprised me is when she got up, she didn't know she was knocked out. Her first reaction was like, she didn't remember anything.
Of that day.
That day.
Yeah, so I've never been knocked out, but I've been around people who've been knocked out. And
I have, like that.
You've been knocked out like that?
Yeah.
How?
Spear tackled a windowsill.
Explain that.
Yeah, hold on.
That doesn't even
You spear tackled a windowsill.
My mate was standing directly in front of the windowsill, like one of those ones you can sit on. It's like a bench. And I 100%, like WWE spear tackle, like spear tackled him, and he just took one step to the left, and I went head first into it.
So you ran into a windowsill?
I went head first into it.
And what happened?
Broke my teeth, broke my jaw, woke up in hospital the next day.
And how long were you?
I don't remember anything from that, like most of that day. Like, granted, like I was well and truly drunk. like no one does this sober. But it was when I think I just turned 18. It was my learning experience with alcohol. Don't mess with it.
And you broke your jaw?
Yeah, I broke my jaw, shattered my teeth. I was a mess.
But you don't, and you when you woke up, you didn't know anything.
I don't remember anything. I didn't remember anything. But as well as like because of the injury and my blood was everywhere and I was delirious. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even have my license or phone or wallet or anything. So they took me straight to the hospital. None of my mates decided to come with me. Cheers, boys.
Good guys.
So I was like a John Doe for like 3 days in there. Like no joke. And the boys still went out on the weekend. Like they were still because we were away for a party session.
What a good guy. Good guys.
Yeah, kind of strained our friendship after that. But yeah, it was like that's the only time I've been clean out.
You've been knocked out?
Yeah.
And how long did it, like...
One time was that time in Penrith when I got hit with a pole. So I was out for a good, I didn't know what was going on for a good 24 to 36. No, even I had to go in and get surgery and that, and I still don't remember any of that. And then one time when I was playing footy up home at Ballina, I got knocked out pretty bad. And my wife was only talking about it the other day. And I didn't know what went on. That probably around 12 hours, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know I played footy and stuff like that.
That's
Yeah.
so heavy.
Yeah. Yep.
So heavy.
I had to get stitches and that too in my head. And
what's that like when you go, fuck?
I don't know. It's nearly like you're just drunk. Looking back at it, like you can't remember a drunk night or something like that. But yeah, I was out on the field. I couldn't remember what day it was. Couldn't remember anything. Went to the hospital. I was like refusing to get what is it, anaesthetic?
Yeah.
I was just like, nah, just stitch it up. I don't care and stuff like that. The anaesthetic hurts too much. And yeah, my wife and that was just saying it wasn't nice to see someone like so lost. But yeah, it took probably around maybe 10 hours or something like that to sort of come with it. But I still can't like remember turning up that morning to play or do you know what I mean? Getting ready or anything like that. I couldn't remember beforehand as well.
See, mine wasn't even that bad. Because like I don't remember anything before the incident or of the incident, but I remember being in the ambulance at one stage, and I remember being in the hospital, like when they were doing the surgery that night. I remember being in the hospital.
I've been punch drunk too. One of the boxing fights I had, we just stood there and banged it out, and afterwards I felt drunk.
And you were like,
Yeah, I was like, hey, like this, and I was dancing and stuff like that. Everyone's going, what, did you already have a couple? And I'm like, nah.
Fuck, no.
Proper punch drunk.
There you go. Hope that answers your question, Dave. No, she was like asleep. She was gone.
She was
there was a big...
And her feet were in like this. like she was like proper dead. Her feet were like this.
I was watching the fight, but I was doing something else while the fight was going on. I can't remember what I was doing, and I think I was talking to my dog, and I looked up and I just saw her going.
Yeah. I was doing the same thing. Like I was talking to Sophia about it, and then I looked at my phone for a second, and I heard and then I was like, "What was that?" And then
she was
the
dead.
shin.
And I guess then that brings us to the bantamweight main event, gentlemen. What did you think?
I thought it was a great fight. We've got to give it like Cejudo. I think like his little media stunts are so ridiculous. But if he's putting them on, then like he's a mastermind because they are so cringy and they hurt me to watch. Like I get hurt physically when I watch them. Like I go, my body.
He came out with a crown
but he gets people talking about it.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, everyone was calling him Farquaad, Lord Farquaad.
Oh, yeah.
Have you know?
Yes.
Oh,
Shrek.
Shrek. It's like he's like the little dude from Far, Far Away.
Yeah.
Lord Farquaad. And like, yeah, if he's putting it on, like if he's just biting them, I don't think he's putting it on as in he's faking what he's doing. I think that's actually him because I think it's too cringy, too fake. You can't actually make that up. But if he says, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to do it anyway, then hats off to you because it's working. Like you are killing me every time I see your shit. But as a fighter, as a combat athlete, he's phenomenal. Phenomenal. Like you cannot fault him. He is just destroying people.
They come back from that first round, eh?
Well, did you see his ankle? A couple, like literally like the day before, rolled it on the UFC mats. And he was like blown up black. Oh, yeah? yeah. You see it?
Nah.
Yeah. Like you know, the training rooms we always train in. His foot got caught in like one of the seams and he rolled it, sprained it, like straight out, blew up, black. And that's why he was wearing the ankle braces. Like, he still fought with it. Like, which might explain like why he was eating those leg kicks so heavy and why, like, yeah, Moraes was attacking those legs so much. But like to fight like with
you
that,
roll your ankle, you don't want to do shit.
Yeah, like with a big black fat ankle, and then to jump in there and then get fed the first round. Like,
Yeah.
My mate's wife is Asian, and this will become pertinent in a second. Why?
I like where this is going.
Yeah.
Just no, that's it. My mate's wife is Asian. Right? My mate's wife is Asian, right? And she was watching the fight, and she goes, "Oh my God!" She goes, "That's that same Mexican that that Rob was meant to fight." And she goes, "How come they're using such a much bigger octagon?" This is a true story. And my mate had to say to her, "No, different Mexican. They don't even look alike." But there you go.
You're a big fan of the sport.
Huge fan of the sport and deliciously racist.
But yeah, like to come back from the, and then he got fed in the first round, and then
I didn't think he was going to come back, eh?
No, I didn't. I thought, what does he
Because
have?
Moraes' leg kicks were fucking big
he's
too.
killing him. And then like a minute into the second, like Cejudo just said, "You know what? Fuck this guy," and just started loading up on that right, moving forward.
Yeah, his corner said that. His corner said, don't get stuck like you did against Johnson in that mid-range and let him kick the shit out of you. You know what I mean? You got to move in forward, and that's what you got to do against a kicker. And he kicked back too. Yeah. You know, with a bad fucking ankle too.
Stupid.
Not heaps. No, he didn't
Crazy.
kick a lot, which is something that I didn't know about the ankle, because I remember watching thinking like he probably should need to kick a little bit to get in.
Move a little bit.
Yeah.
Wasn't moving a lot. But yeah, then he just walked in and threw the right hand. Then walked in and threw the right hand. And Moraes was getting caught with it. Like, it looked to me like Moraes didn't like getting hit that much, like getting hit. And then like that, the first couple of exchanges were like, okay, so Cejudo's got power and he's going forward. He's got power. Like, even moving up a division, he's got power. Like, he's hurting Moraes. Moraes doesn't like it.
Chin.
Yeah, Moraes doesn't like it. Moraes can't stop him from coming forward. And then Moraes gassed. Like, sometime in that second round, Moraes gassed. Yeah. On top of, like that. You know, it could have been like the psychological warfare in that as well. Like, Moraes thinking to himself, man, I can't hurt this guy. And this guy is coming forward hurting me. And now he starts to get tired. And now everything is just stacking against him, going downhill. Like the wave of momentum in a fight is just starting to go against him, like really bad. And Cejudo didn't let up. He could feel it. He kept it. He's obviously lived in those emotional roller coasters, like Olympic gold medalist. Like, come on.
His corner said to him in between the first and the second, said, "You need to go forward and get that punching range."
Yeah.
So what he had to do you know what I mean, to change from the first round to the second round, was get in that range, and he just bit down on his mouth guard and got in there.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
He just said, "Fuck this," and just like went forward, threw the right hand, like loaded up viciously on it, and just kept throwing the vicious right hands. And then
the thing is, well, you can't. There's nothing you can do or say to someone if they're gassed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, momentum in the fight can be changed if you land a shot or, you know, to get the takedown or whatever, and that can change the momentum of a fight. But if you're gassed...
They even mentioned that, didn't they? Because they were right near his corner, right near Magic's corner, and they were saying there's nothing they can say to him right now that's going to help him.
I did not hear that, but yes.
Do you know what I mean? The corner could be screaming, do this, do that, but nothing is going to help him when they're in that situation.
And he's big, man, for that division.
Like, when I was watching him in the first round, like, the way he was fighting is just like, everything was power, everything. Every kick was power. Every time they went in... Moraes would like slip, roll, hook, uppercut, hook, like, and everything was power. Everything was tight and powerful. And I thought, like, if he would have kept that up, it would have killed him. But
when you like that too, and how you're saying everything's turned on.
Yeah, it's
do you know what I mean? Your lats are turned on, everything's tight, so you're using a lot more muscles than when people are nice and
no
loose.
one understands how hard slipping and rolling is.
Yeah.
It is so hard to throw off a combo. Like, when you throw like a hook and then you slip the same way and then roll under, and you're trying to do it all controlled so that you can attack again at the end of that, it is so hard and so tiring. So tiring.
And if you can't, again, stop the guy coming forward. if you're throwing that
Yeah.
and your shots are not making him stop,
Yeah.
you know, like you can't stop him. But he was, in fucking credit to Moraes and credit to Cejudo, Moraes was keeping him honest in the first round. He was like stopping him.
Big time.
Yeah, and I thought that's it. But he must have lost some of the zap in the punches too, like towards the end.
Well, I've seen it actually a couple of times in the wrestling comps, especially wrestling comps. I've seen a couple of guys where it happens in fights. I've seen it plenty of times where it honestly looks like a switch is flipped and the dude's energy level goes from 100 to nothing, to where he's not even responding. Have you seen it in boxing?
Yeah, in boxing it's the worst when you see it happening. Especially when you're coaching a guy and you see it and you're like,
You
no,
see your fighter.
no, now he just, do you know what I mean? And his head's going backwards, he's just continually getting punched.
where the dude is like, he's like the next Mike Tyson, and then someone just goes, hold on, wait 1 second. And then the guy goes, like, he can't move anymore.
Yeah.
His hands dropped to here, and he can't move. Like, he's just getting hit. And he's happy getting hit because he doesn't have to move.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy how
You know,
when
you
that
see
happens.
that when you say in wrestling, you see that in wrestling because you see sometimes dudes go out, and if they're, you know, you might have 5 or 6 matches in your bracket in the finals or whatever, and you have dudes are like, you look at someone, you I don't want to get him in the first round because he's a monster, but if you get him in the 3rd or 4th round, if he's a real big powerful guy, and his fitness is not the best, that guy is not the same. Yep. You know, and it's a different thing. Like I always think of it because I was actually speaking with my wife about it, and she was like, she asked me something, I can't remember what it was, but I don't think I answered her. I think she asked me, actually, I'm fucking lying, because I think she asked me something completely different, but I answered a different question in my head. Because I was thinking like...
You're confusing me.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Forget I said that. The point that I was going to make was, because I don't think she actually asked me that. I think she asked me something like, can you take the rubbish out? And I thought in my head...
Cejudo had that fight.
And I thought in my head...
Cejudo always had a fight. What are you talking about?
And I thought my response in my head was, you know, the length of time the rounds last would have different effect on the energy systems, and the champions would look completely different. And I just sat there. I don't know what she said. Sorry.
Oh man.
But my point that I was going to say was like, I think it does. I think it makes a like, because you know we're talking about the 25-minute round. If you, like when you're saying, you know, Jan dropped him in at the end of the 5 minutes. If that was one, GSP was saying this 25-minute round. I would like to see that. I would like to see what that would look like. Because I think everything changes. If you said the UFC was now just one 2-minute round, then
it changes who's the top 10.
It changes completely different. You know what I mean? It's completely different. It's same as if you said one round, 25 minutes, no gloves, no stand-ups. So if a person can get you down and hold you down, that's great. But at the same time, if you're a grappler and you're a big, powerful grappler and you start getting teed off on, you can't go back, have a 1-minute rest, get your ATP system back a little bit, and then come back out. You've now worn that damage. Or you might have held someone down for 15 minutes, and then you're like, fuck, I'm done here, boys. And you've got 10 minutes to go. Yeah. But there's no way of anyone saying to you, okay, you're going to get a minute to get your breath back. I think all those things make it real different. And Cejudo got out of those 5 minutes with Moraes, and then it was a completely different fight. If you watch the second round to the first round, Ferguson and Cerrone, the first round same deal. Yeah. Second round completely different. You know, you see guys like Peter Yan, even Jimmy Rivera, that go hard the whole time. That's a different fight.
You heard it here first. We're petitioning 25-minute round.
Would you like that? Would you prefer that?
Probably not, but
why would you not prefer it? How would you like it?
Yeah, I'd like, but I don't like it if there were other changes as well, such as like kicking people on the ground. I think that should be allowed.
You like the soccer kicks?
Yeah.
So
stomping. Yeah.
So one 25-minute round, and soccer kicks and stomps.
Yeah, 100%.
Bare knuckles or gloves?
Gloves. Come on, we're not savages.
We're not animals.
Are the gloves? Did they say the gloves are more to protect their hands than what it is the? Isn't that the whole bare knuckle thing that they say?
Yeah,
like,
but I think there's a point of diminishing returns at at those small gloves, I think they protect the hands enough and they stop the... Because those things are like in a cast, man. You got the wrap, you got the wraps, and then you got the 4-ounce glove. So it's really, your hand's really protected, but it's not weighed down by the glove at all. So you can really whack with that.
As well as you're not getting like 35, like not every fighter doesn't end up looking like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Like stitched together.
Yeah, but that's the cuts. I don't think that's the trauma to the brain is not the same. Like the cuts is bare knuckles worse. But you can't, bare knuckles, you can't just throw a punch and then catch it on the, like the dude catches on the elbow. To change how people have to defend.
It changed ground fighting for sure.
100%.
Because like those little annoying punches like that, like this, like that. like they would there's a big chance they could cut you.
Yeah.
And like, have you ever like just been rolling or anything and just accidentally nicked like this little part under your eye?
Yeah.
And instantly becomes a balloon.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah, or just here and it cuts.
Yeah. Like it doesn't take much.
What do you think would be a good rule set?
I don't know.
Do you like it how it is?
I don't mind it how it is. They won't change it.
No, of course not. No, not due to this.
Change it.
Not due to this fucking
Crazy
podcast.
person goes down to Mexico and starts a whole new, do you know what I mean, organisation where...
Well, ONE FC is doing it different. They have the
soccer kicks.
Oh, they have the soccer kicks, but they still have the normal rounds and that, don't they?
Yeah, but a soccer kicks change it a lot.
Did ONE FC stick with that weight policy thing? What are they doing with that? So what are they doing? They have to weigh in before you fight?
Yeah, they do basically everyone fights at the next weight division up.
Yeah, because I seen Jacob was saying the other day that ADCC now are weighing in 24 hours before they fight.
I think they've always done that.
Oh, have they?
Yeah,
I thought so.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it wouldn't be. Yeah.
I'd also like to bring back headbutts. I think headbutts should be brought back.
Headbutts change the ground a lot.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, dudes,
Can't sit in the guard then.
mate, I remember Coleman where he would take the people down and just fucking headbutt them.
Yeah, I think headbutts.
You know who'd be scary to fight like that? Romero. Like with his fucking big head and his little shoulders and just fucking dropping it, headbutt some people. He could just roll himself up like that and just jump at people with his fucking head. Because his legs, he'd just power through. He'd just be like a missile. That's how he could just fight people.
Yeah, but I think like eye gouging, like orifice poking, prodding, gouging, no.
No, nothing should go in any orifice.
Yeah, no orifices.
But I think
or biting either.
I'd like to see it as free flowing as possible. But like me, if you ask me, I think the one 25-minute round would be cool.
Big time.
What about an 8 count?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, why?
No, just because you said it. No, I don't think an 8 count, because I think like if you get dropped, you should be able to get finished.
Yeah.
I think it'll bring like the kind of like the element, like the essence of fighting, like fighting for your life, defending yourself against a predator or another man. Like it'd be much closer to realism if we had one 25-minute round. Because you like what happened with the Rivera fight. Like you drop someone 4 minutes 40 seconds.
Yeah.
You got 20 seconds to try and finish them all.
Or you hit him in the body a couple of times, or you fucking hit him in the face a few times, and the person's not 100% and gets saved by the bell.
Or you gas yourself trying to get takedowns, and you get it right at the end, and you just hold him down for a little bit, and then you get back up and you gain your breath back to do it again. Like I don't think that truce period of a minute break. And I'm saying this, and I like that minute break. I like it very much.
100%.
But I'd still like to fight one 25-minute round. It'd be cool.
That'd be different.
Yes, sir. David, do you have anything to add? Anything at all? When are we starting the GAP program?
Very soon.
When's the first class?
Later this month.
Later this month.
Yep.
This
month.
Yes.
Guys, please feel free to like and subscribe. Please feel free to tell David exactly what you think of him.
Yeah. Tell all your mates about it too.
Yeah, and tell your mates.
Not about David.
Yeah.
About the podcast.
Yeah. So, yes, feel free to like and subscribe and just take out, 15 years of prejudice, oppression and hate that you might have on David. So, thank you very much, guys. Tune in soon.
Thanks, boys and girls.